been like musical chairs a little bit with the quarterback situation, just in the Big Ten in general. I think there's like 3/4 of the league, I think, has like a new quarterback in place to start game one. Just is that kind of the era that we're at in college football, or and what kind of challenges does that just present, I guess?
Starting a new QB?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think starting a new QB is there's definite challenges college football, and I think just with the nature of the transfer portal and guys looking to, if they're not the starter after a year or two, they're sometimes looking for a new opportunity. Just making your offense simple enough to where a guy can come in and feel like he can learn it, sometimes even without the spring, to come in and learn and be able to play and move the football for you. So I think there's some new challenges there for sure, and you try to get a guy and work and develop him and hopefully keep him for 2 or 3 years. I think that'll be a huge advantage.
You talked about a couple weeks ago, the offensive line sort of being the beginning key of everything. Where is that group as you see them now?
Yeah, they've come along. I still think that's definitely a work in progress. We feel 7, 8 type of guys right now that'll probably rotate in there and play and really through those those first couple games. I think you'll see a number of guys kind of rotate through there until we find the feel good with the 5 that we end up settling with.
This is Tuesday, so you got 2 days before game day. Are you still implementing stuff like plays, or is that hay long in the bar?
No, we start usually a first opponent coming out of camp. We kind of get game plan and give them a little extra time. And so yeah, the game plan's been set. There might be a few minor tweaks here and there, depending on how some stuff looks on film. But the end of last week, we kind of gave them a first shot at it, and then we're kind of hitting it all again, leading up to this week.
Are you a hunch guy, or more of an analytics guy, or what? As an offensive coordinator?
I'd say a little bit of both. I do think the analytics, there's a lot of good information there, but I think sometimes at the end of the day you got to trust your gut on some certain things, and that really plays in for Coach Smith, probably more of his decision stuff more than mine.
Jonathan talked about using 2 tight ends. For you, is that more of a philosophical thing that fits, or is it personnel related?
Both. We like tight ends. I think you guys like guys that, and we want to be multiple in the looks that we can get. We'll have some, sometimes some 3 tight end sets, sometimes 1, sometimes none. We feel good about our tight end group, and so you'll definitely see some looks of that with that personnel in there. But I love tight ends, and I think it's awesome when you can find guys that can play in line, and then sometimes the guys can flex out and play flexed out, and then see how the defense is going to handle it. Are they going to stay in their light personnel, or are they going to put an extra linebacker in the game and play in a heavy personnel, and you can play that game a little bit. So yeah, I feel good about the tight end group, and like I said, it'll be a pretty multiple mix the first couple games.
So instead of having 12 personnel, is that when you would put a fullback in, or could you possibly have a power formation with all that together?
Yeah, you could have you have some sets with a true fullback in there, and then you'll also have some where those tight ends, you could stay in that 12 personnel look, and they could get you to some of those sets. We've been able to do both, and it's always just based on what we have that year and what we feel best with per the play.
Both Jonathan and Joe talked about the phrase chasing ghosts from an offensive side when you have a new opponent, when you have a new system. You don't have anything on tape for the other team. How much does it present a ghost, maybe, and how much do you feel like you can maybe, I don't want to say deceive the other team, but it's going to take them a while to adjust to what you're doing.
Oh, you're talking about on our end?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. It's we're I think always on the first game, you're always kind of like the focus is completely on us, and like we've been repping this stuff since spring and we got here, and let's go execute our stuff. And there's going to be some new wrinkles that the defense is going to present the first game, and we'll make adjustments as we get in the game, and our guys, our coaching staff will be ready to adapt. But for our players, it's like, hey, the focus is on us. Let's eliminate the self-inflicted wounds as far as turnovers, pre-snap penalties, procedural stuff. Getting the right personnel in the game. Let's take care of that and go execute our base stuff, and then the coaching staff will make, we'll adapt on the move. And then as far as them with us, it's I don't know. They're probably studying some Oregon State stuff, and I think they're probably in the same boat. They'll see some things that are new that they probably haven't seen on film. I think that just goes for both sides.
I would think too that the portal era maybe makes game one. I mean, is it fair to say that it makes game one when you've got so much personnel movement year to year? everywhere around the country. Does that make it a little harder?
Yeah, definitely personnel. I mean, there's a lot of unknowns, and you'll try to go maybe study a little bit of, hey, this guy played here last year and get a feel for his skill set and whatnot. But yeah, that first game it's a little different. There'll be some adjustments on the move for sure.
Coach, with the excitement of the new season, you guys kind of being a new team being unveiled, talk about the technology part. You touched on analytics a little bit, but talk about the infusion of how technology is playing such a new role and how you look to deal with it.
Yeah, it's going to be a learning, those first couple games. We've been repping it in some of our scrimmages, but being able to have video in between series and during the game, that's something we've, in 20 years of coaching, never had the opportunity to do. So I think there'll be a few more in-game adjustments made, and I know sometimes you'd always get to, you had guys up in the box and giving you information, but sometimes that information wasn't always super accurate. So you'd get back into the office Sunday morning and you'd be like, man, I wish I would have gotten to this, back to this call, or we should have gotten to this based on this look. And I'm excited just to have a little bit more information available to you during the game and be able to get to some things, hopefully get to those things quicker.
With the conference game coming up, in week 2, I mean, how much does it place a premium on you guys to get certain things established through this game, and maybe not experiment as much as you would typically maybe if you had a couple, 3 conference games?
Yeah, there'll probably be a little bit of thought that way, is like, man, if you had really true 3 non-conference ones, maybe you can experiment a little bit more with some personnel stuff. But I don't know. I mean, being a new staff, our focus just is so much on this first opponent, and probably just going 1 week at a time and taking it through there, and then learning as much as we can with this first game as far as about our personnel and what we got and what our strengths are, and then try to make the adjustments going into game 2. And like I said, just keep it 1 week.
With the headsets, can you give a little more context than just the play call, and has that been beneficial? Like, here's the play call, but also here's a little tip on top of that or something, is that different than just the pure sideline?
Totally, yeah. You got up until the 15-second mark, and you can give them a little reminder of a coaching point or whatnot. And I think that's, talking to a lot of those guys in the NFL that have been doing that, how much, and a lot of it I think is just per quarterback and what you feel like he can handle. And a lot of it I think will just be giving him the play and, trusting his preparation during the week and letting him go. But if there is maybe a little coaching point or a little reminder, you can definitely throw it in there, as soon as that, you have it, that thing starts and you can get talking to him.
And you're upstairs, right?
Yeah.
Aiden's first career start. Just what are you hoping to see from him? And how do you think, he says he embraces the pressure that he might feel, but just what do you know about his ability to handle that moment?
Yeah, I told Aiden, man, he's best when he's relaxed, he's having fun, and we talk about playing one snap and clearing it, whether it was a good snap, the snap before, or a bad one, and kind of stacking plays. And I just had him relax and go do your thing. He's had reps and he's been in the system now. This is his 2nd year. I think he has a really good feel for what we're doing, and go take it kind of one play at a time, and enjoy the atmosphere and do what he does.
How's he done ball security-wise, ball camp, scrimmages, and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, he started off, he threw some picks early in camp, and I felt like he kind of settled in as far as the decisions go, and it's always a big challenge, I think, QB-wise, because those guys, you're not able to tackle them and have contact really until the first game, and so that's been something that we really challenge those guys on, is being aware as they're, in a confined space in the pocket, or as they get out on the perimeter and they tuck it and go, is trying to remind them, put them through ball security circuits and drills that way. But that's always, it's always a concern going into the first game when those guys just haven't been hit, for 4 weeks.
Ryan, what do you remember about Aiden last year before his first appearance, and is the greatest growth in his game skill and physical related or above the neck?
Above the neck, for sure, would be his greatest growth. I think his understanding of defenses and how they're trying to attack them. I think last year he kind of understood our basic progressions and whatnot, and would go out there and he put together some drives. But I think things are slowing down for him a little bit as he's understanding how defenses and coverages are trying to attack and weaknesses of coverages. Is understanding protection more. So I think above, like you said, above the shoulders has been, his biggest growth. This off season.
Is there any nerves or maybe what's different about preparing for game 1 at a new school for
I think there's always a little nerves going into the first game, and then playing in a stadium or being a part of a stadium. I'm kind of excited for that, like a new environment and atmosphere. But at the end of the day, like you gotta trust your process and go enjoy it. And like I said, do as much as you can to prep these guys during the week, and then let them go perform. And going in probably it's not going to be a perfect deal game one, but try to get to eliminate kind of those self-inflicted plays and then adapt kind of throughout the course of the game and let those guys let it loose, have some fun.
How many times would you want, like ideally in a game, want to call a run for Aiden? Obviously he's going to do some things off script, but in terms of called runs, how often would you want to see him do that type of
That's just kind of I think it's a per week thing, and I think it's definitely a thought in our with us and his athleticism, but it's the exact number, I don't know. That'll vary per week on that, and I just think he's always a threat to be able to pull the ball or have a QB run that way, because he is a talented athlete that way, and that's something that we want to defenses have to prepare for.
You mentioned the offensive line as a work in progress. What's your confidence level in your ability to control the line of scrimmage and sustain drives, 5, 6?
It's growing, it's growing. I'm excited to go see it in a live situation. I felt like at times in scrimmages, we were making it physical and we were protecting the QB and doing some really good things. And I feel like we've improved a tremendous amount from where we were. I'm excited to see, kind of the first group, or really those first 8, kind of guys go out there and do it live and do it on game day and see how they perform and see where we're at with regards to other teams.
Along those lines, play calling's obviously built off setting things up and being able to do that. Do you feel like you have the mechanisms to be able to set things up, I guess, and where you can get to other parts of the call sheet, I guess?
Yeah, no, we want to be balanced, and each game plan is a little bit unique from where you want to start, but we definitely want to be balanced and have the defense prepare for both of those elements, and that's a big part of what we do. And just each way how you want to tweak it is a little bit unique.
That receiver group, how Jonathan talked about getting guys in a different spot, but that seems like one of the things he kind of pointed to is there may be 5, 6 guys. How deep do you want to go there early on?
Yeah, I think there's 5 or 6 that we feel pretty good with, and sometimes that's per play. Hey, this guy's really good at this route, or he feels good with this concept, has a good feel, and then some of it is just let those guys roll out and play. And that'll be kind of a fluid thing. So he's kind of hot out there and rolling, and but I feel good about the 5, 6 guys, and I think you'll see all of them through the first game.
How's your trust in Nick Marsh gone over camp?
Yeah, it's grown. Nick, for a freshman, has picked up the system really well. I think that's always and then we've really challenged him just to keep playing fast. Sometimes the speed of the game and your consistency that way is a challenge for young guys. And he's had a great camp, and he's shown up and made a lot of plays in scrimmages. So he's a guy that we got a lot of confidence in and want to get him out there and see how he performs.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Yeah, thank you guys.